Hello guys, welcome back to Jungle Forum. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. As I always keep saying, your subscriptions or your likes or comments motivate me to provide more videos in the near future. As you know, it's not easy to provide these videos. I have to make research, try to take my time, understand what the eligibility says or what the scholarship programs states, at least, and try to summarize it and provide it to you at your fingertips. So please, I urge you to subscribe, like, comment and share, please, for more videos, please. Yeah, so today we will not waste much time, so we're just gonna delve into the Fulbright scholarships for South African students. So as you can see, I am currently on the U.S. Embassy website, which is in South Africa. So this is the brief introduction of the scholarship program. As you can see, the South African Fulbright student programs provide grants for South African university graduates to pursue postgraduate studies at a United States university in any subject, excluding MBA and studies that are required, interpersonal communication or contacts. So that we all know that literally means if you apply for MBA and medics, then obviously your application will be excluded or will not be considered. So students are selected through a rigorous application and interview process and receive a high level of support, ranging from visa processing and health insurance. So it means here, if you're accepted or if your application is considered, you will have a visa processing assistant and health insurance, which is just a comprehensive prior to departure. So this scholarship is very lucrative and it's a top-notch scholarship. So I advise you, if you are an aspirant, you just don't have to waste so much time, so be on it as of now. The following documents or the following opportunities are available. You have South African PhD students who are enrolled in a university in South Africa. You can apply, and here we will talk about the eligibility. You have to be a South African citizen or hold a resident permit with a minimum of 5 years in South Africa, so apply for this Fulbright scholarship. So you have to know that South African nationals with dual citizenship from the USA or from the United States are not eligible for the program. So it means if you're having a South African nationality and a US citizenship, so you are not eligible for this program. Please take note of that. And have one of the following academic degrees. For PhD research, you have to be registered for a PhD at a South African university. If you're a research student who is going for VSR, or a visiting student researcher, you have to be registered in one of the South African universities to participate in an academic year in the US in order to conduct your studies or your research successfully. And here, when applying for masters, if you are applying for a master's program, you should have a 4-year bachelor's degree. If you have a BTech, then obviously that is a 3-year program, which is bachelor's degree with an honors degree, first or second year. This obviously they just indicated honor, so maybe when applying for a doctorate degree, you should have a master's degree. So that is an epitomize, so that is obvious. What do we look for in our applicants? These are things that are required for you to supply to them or submit to them. What you should have an academic excellence. You are required to provide test scores, either graduate records exam, that is GRE, or you have to provide a TOEFL. You should have a clearly written study objectives. You have to provide your study framework, and you have to demonstrate interpersonal skills with evidence of cultural sensitivity and a genuine desire to learn about more about the United States. So I know everybody will just try to study or will look forward to study in the United States, because it's a community, whereas in fact it's a diverse community, whereas you just have to can inculcate so many great things in you. So if you portray or possess such interpersonal skills, then and you should have a desire to further Fulbright and go back to your home country. Upon completing this program, at least you should have the desire to go back to your home country. And this video is just for for guideline purpose, so any materials you see is not within our disposal, so we didn't own them. please take note. So I advise you, if you are to provide information to the US Embassy, you shouldn't indicate anything like if go back you will not come back. So please take note. This is the application deadline, as you can see, that is going to be May 1st, 2022. So here it says prospective Fulbright participants should be aware that public health conditions, availability of consular service and travel, as well as US institutional operation or operating status and policies may affect their ability to travel to the US and participate in academic programs. It's just a warning, but it doesn't apply, so it varies. But it depends on the status of the pandemic in the US, for example. So take note of that. As you see, here's the guidance for applicants. As you see here, this is a PDF. If I click it, it takes me to another portion where you will see some information. This is the research proposal for applicants. So here, if you have any question, you just have to refer to this. That is the fpsa@state.gov. If you have anything related to Fulbright, that's their office, so you can just communicate to them in South Africa. And these are the FAQs, that is the frequently asked questions which are asked by some people most of the time. So today I'm just gonna take you through to the PDF file. So here you have this is the Fulbright South Africa creating for opportunity. So this is the application link. If you can see, if you click this thing, it takes you to another person, whereas you just have to sign up and fill your email addresses. So if you see here, this is the eligibility status. As it says, be a South African citizen or a permanent resident with a minimum of 5 years. So if you have a citizenship other than South African nationality, so obviously you are not eligible for this program. So if you're a master student and looking for a program which is related to a research field on PhD, is either VSR or other courses, so you're eligible. So here, as you see, this is the all for applications. So you should have a sufficient level of English proficiency to enable them to engage in graduate level studies in the US. So, and secondly, you should provide a TOEFL or GRE, but it depends on some other courses, so it doesn't apply to everybody. So, but take note, if you have such course, so you have to provide it. This is the selection process and timeline. After the initial review of all applications and interview of shortlisted applicants by the Fulbright Selection Committee, candidates will participate in a semi-final round selection process before a final cohort is nominated and submitted to the Fulbright Foreign Service Board for the review. A nomination by the South African Fulbright Selection Committee does not guarantee your placement at a university. So your placement, it doesn't guarantee by anybody else, but your documents, your eligibility, that's what guarantee you an admission in one of those universities. And I advise you, before applying to this program, you have to visit the university you want to apply for, check their criteria, admission criteria. If you meet the criteria, then you're okay. You don't need to necessarily apply to them directly, but you just have to check that as a personal guide. So from there, you may head on to your application. As you see, the participants will be interviewed maybe online or in person, that is face to face. But it depends on, as we all know, we are in a pandemic era. So whereas things cannot be, predicted in most cases, so you have to expect on either online or offline interview. So that is going to be in June. So from there, student may be there in August. So as you see here, successful applicants or successful nominees placed at US university will depart for the United States. That is July and August. So yeah, in most cases, classes starts in September in the United States. Yeah, mostly in other countries. Yeah. So if you depart there from maybe July or August, then relax for some time, do some other documentation, then therefore your classes start by September 2023. So here is interviews. All applicants must download the interview location page. So the interview location page I'll provide it here. This is the interview location page. So maybe I will just provide application guidelines. So these are the materials that I needed to submit. So your transcript has to be provided. If you have more than one transcript, like if you're a PhD candidate, you should provide 2 transcripts, that is your bachelor's and your master's. So take note of that, please. And you have to provide the name of the university as well. So, and here if you observe your transcript and certificate, it has to be in English. So, and as we all know, South African, I think their official language is English, I guess. So anything you supply or provide other than English is not going to be accepted. Yeah, so take note of that, place. And these are the GRE and TOEFL test scores, which are not required in most cases. So, but as it is expected to submit sometimes. But take note, is a different case on the application or on your application. If you are applying for a program which does not require for you to submit a GRE, it's not a problem. It's not a problem, but in the other hand is some universities require for you to submit a GRE, and in most cases visa interview needs GRE in order to test your level of English proficiency. So yeah, and you have to provide a study plan, that is your objective, a visiting student researcher, that's South African PhD student going to the US to do research. So you should provide a course framework of that for either master's and doctorate PhD too. These are the internet grant period. That is for VSR, which is the visiting student researcher. That is the PhD research students. That is 9 months, just half of a year. And you should have your master's gonna last for 2 years. For PhD only, no research. You have PhD and PhD research. So your PhD is going to be 4 years, and do not worry yourself. All these things is going to be covered by the educational body, so you don't need to worry yourself. And this is an extremely important part of your application. It is the essence of you, of why you want to study in the United States. It must be clearly written and outlined the following. Be specific about your academic field and specialized interest within this field. So, for example, if you're a student who got BTech and you're or a master student who got like any field other than medicine and other stuff, then you, for example, you have in business and in physiology or zoology or geography or whatsoever. So you shouldn't try to deviate from that and provide something that doesn't have relation with it. Means you have no foundation of such, and you should have to provide a master plan of your course framework. So take note of that, place. And this is the tip here. You have to first formulate in a Word document, then upload to the application. So there's a error here. They just wanted to write application. Yeah, that was just a typographical error. Application. So apply to US universities. Note that you should not directly apply to any university. Please do not apply directly to any university in anticipation. Don't apply and look forward to them to accept your program. They might do, but if you are accepted, what are you going to use to fund your studies? You're applying for this program because you don't have funds. So you're applying for this program because you want them to fund your studies. So please be very, very cautious of this. Be very, very vigilant. If you're applying, there's a portal or there's a website you have to visit. Create an account, use your email address, your name, your last name, date of birth, and you're good to go. So you can do everything there. From there, they will provide your information to the universities you apply. Literally, your responsibility is to provide the exact information they've required from you. That's all. And this is the personal statement. Personal statement, you have to write a narrative statement describing how you have achieved your goals. A written statement, how you achieve your goals. Yeah, it is an opportunity to interview on paper. What do you not tell us about yourself? We will never know. So promote your accomplishment, but be concise. Yeah, so shouldn't be out of topic. Talk about yourself, talk about your achievements, talk about your goals, then you're good. But you shouldn't be deviate from the topic or be kind of inconcise or something like that. So be straight at the point and be very, very coherent of what you're sending. So let always your audience be very, very or be attractive to what signals or message you are trying to send. So it's very crucial. Here you have guidelines on writing a personal statement or Fulbright applications. So here, these are the tips. So here I can just give a keyword here, is your CV updated? So if you're providing CV, in fact it's part of the requirements, make sure your CV has to, or it should be corresponding to your profile. If anything that is not corresponding or kind of conflicting information, at the end of the day it will disturb you, so it may even delay your applications. So it might even lead for your application to be disregarded. So please be very, 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 very careful of that. And here you say, why me? Connect the dots between your CV and transcript. Yeah, I said it and it has been repeated again. So you have to connect the dots. What relationship does your transcript have and your CV? You have to explain. What is in the transcript, please let it apply on your CV. And what is in the CV, it has to apply in the transcript too. So be very, very careful. Why here? Describe your academic fit for the Fulbright program and reason for studying in the United States. Concrete reasons. Why do you choose the United States as your study destination? And why do you choose the Fulbright program as your sponsor or your scholarship scheme? So be very, very careful of that. You have to state a very concrete reason why. Convince them. You need to get into their heads. So be very, very careful of that. Why now? What are your short or long-term goals? What do you want to do currently, or what are your plans in the future? Tell them. But take note, if you have to do, please let it be related to your home country. They will love that. They will love that. The reason why they give you the scholarship is to complete your study and go back develop your own country. So take note of that, please. How does doing this program at this time help you feel or fulfilling this or fulfill this? How does it help you? So you have to indicate how does it help you when it comes to interpersonal skills, professionalism, ethicalism and all sort of stuff. So you have to indicate that. Yes, it says address the personal statement specification full. Use clear, concise language. Say what you mean. Don't use vague words or empty statements or glitches that may not even translate to US audiences or to people who are just gonna examine your application. So be very, very careful of that. I'm sorry, you're just gonna use such it's not just gonna use such words, such grammar or jargon, and at the end of the day it doesn't relate to you, or it doesn't relate to the application. And whatever you are to say, it shouldn't be outside the box of this application. So take note. So as it says, US culture and South African culture is very different. So do not talk about culture and other stuff here. It has no impact. Literally the impact is just going to be negative on your application. So be very, very careful of that. And this is the tip: you have to identify your referees before you start filling out your application form. So communicate to your referees. Maybe if possible, let your referees do their part. From there you continue with your application, because you don't know what their schedules are and you don't know how busy they are. So you just have to notify them that I have to do a application process, so this is this and that. So maybe they will help you. They will find a time and get you off the hook. So as you can see, this is the website. This is the website to apply for the program. So maybe I will take you to the website where you just can visit and fill out the information which are required in the first hand. Then from there you proceed. So this is the interview location page. Where will you like to be interviewed? So you have to, as it says earlier, this thing has to be downloaded. And you have to submit it to them. So, and this thing is available in the portal too, the Fulbright website too. So where would you like to be interviewed? If you want you to be interviewed in Durban, you can choose Durban. If you want to do it in Cape Town, you can use Cape Town. Johannesburg too, in likewise Pretoria. From there you have to provide your name, your email address. If you're shortlisted, they will contact you. Do not worry about it. And these are the checklists for the application. You should provide an application form, a valid one, a complete application form. You should provide your study research objective, your personal statement. You should provide referee 1, 2, and 3. And from there, if you have a letter of invitation from potential host, that is for visiting student researcher, yeah, you can do. If you don't have any invitation, like if you're researching and your supervisors whatsoever, you have something, then you can do. If you don't have, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So you should provide your passport bio page or ID for now. If you have ID, national identity, you can provide. But if you have your passport, is recommended. So do, please. Also, you should provide your transcripts. That includes your grades, your certificates, and a grade explanation sheet. And you should provide also your curriculum vitae, a writing sample required for PhD and recommended for MA programs. You should have a writing sample too. Interview location page, you should provide it too, and it has to be filled out. Your name, email, contact number too. Completed application with all supplemental documents must be submitted through the online system by May 1st, 2022. So as you know, there's a website you have to get into and sign up. Yeah, that's where you have to submit all this supplemental information, so documents. So take note. These are the tips for writing a letter of reference to graduates or to aspirants. These are the key points to consider. 1, you should have an intellectual characteristics. 2, you should have a knowledge of field of study. Also the ability to communicate, industry and self-discipline, and you should also have a personal effectiveness and potential for graduate study. I think you understand all these intellectual characteristics. How do you rate the applicant in overall intelligence? How smart you are, and how you try to visualize things. So it's important. And your knowledge of field of study. How do you mastermind your field of study? So that is very important. So you cannot just apply for a program whereas you have no background about, so that is not going to be possible. And you should have the ability to communicate. If you're to communicate, send a very strong message to the audience, so with an English proficiency too. So you should have a very English command. At least let me even convince the audience. Yeah. And from there, you should have an industry and self-discipline. You have to be ethical and have a very good conduct personally and professionally. Also be motivated as well, who should have the perseverance or a persistent behavior and efficiency of what you're motivated to do. So personal effectiveness, does the applicant possess the quality of maturity and personal adjustment requisite for graduate study? Does the applicant enjoy the trust and respect of fellow students? So you should I am talking about right now to the referee, so the referee will provide all these things for you. And potential for graduate studies, what is your prediction of the applicant's probable performance in graduate school? So he or she should talk about your potential for graduate. And this is the additional tips. Include your affiliations, your relationship with the study. This is the referee, so they are talking about the referee right now. That's your recommender. Your recommender can be your supervisor, your advisor, your professor, but it shouldn't be anything other than these these criteria or these categories. If you provide somebody who has a bloodline with you, like your brother, your sister, father, mother, also, obviously that is not valid. So be very, very vigilant of that. They will do their cross-check, and since they are giving you the funds, or they're gonna fund for your education, so they will go extra miles to verify every bits and pieces of information you provide online. So I will just head on to the Fulbright website, where you can just a guideline how to create an account to sign in. Let's so if you can see here, this is the sorry, I think I have to go back. I just have to go back exactly. So here, this is the application management. You have returning users, you have first-time users. If this is your first time of using this application or this portal, please just click create an account. It takes you somewhere else like this. Enter your personal email address or the email you use frequently. You write your first name, your last name, your date of birth or birth date. Then this is the year, this is the month, this is the day and the year. So I'm just gonna go back and you see here, this is if you this is not your first time of using this website, please kindly click this. You just have to write, if you can see, like if I am currently a returning user, I just have to write this, that, and use my, if I am using Gmail, and provide my, and from there I just have to click enter and go. If you forget your password, you can just click forget. Guys, thank you so much. This was the video I have for you today. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.